there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, and Kate is here with me. Kate is not thrilled that it is the State of the Union. Hey, look, nobody's happy that it's the State of the Union. The State of the Union absolutely sucks. Let's see what Stephen Whitmer says. Hold on, come on back here to this. Come on back here to this, Stephen Whitmer. I don't know who runs this channel, but thank you for live streaming the election board meeting the other week. Hey, Stephen Whitmer, no problem, brother. That's us here at the Political Spotlight. Myself, Kristopher Bilbrey, Kate Thornburg, and Brando Rudd. That's all of us here at the Political Spotlight. We appreciate you watching. Unfortunately, you're probably not going to enjoy tonight because tonight is the god-awful State of the Union. We're going to listen to President Joe Biden talk. It's going to be amazing.
We're going to listen to President Joe Biden lie.
Babble, stutter, carry on. They're saying that he is going to attempt to speak on such items as the economy, the democracy, abortion rights, the United States and Mexico border crisis. What border crisis? The war between Ukraine and Russia, the war between Israel and Hamas, the war between everyone and America. No, it didn't say that. That was my words. So we're going to be listening to him. It's getting started a little bit later than normal because some ceasefire protesters had delayed his route, getting to leaving the White House. Actually, they had laid down in the middle of Pennsylvania Avenue. So they delayed him from leaving the White House, but he has left and he is en route now. And they are starting to call all of these jokers in. So we're going to listen to this and see what happens here. And it looks like the president is just arriving at the Capitol building. And so we're going to go ahead and turn this up and see what kind of nonsense that we can watch. If anybody has any good ideas for drinking games, I am double fisting it tonight. So if anyone has any brilliant ideas, if we can... It does work both ways. The state of Biden's dementia, if we can't deal with it, we will attempt to hang through the State of the Union and the Republican response. I'm extremely interested to hear what the Republican response will be, because they're going to be the youngest person to ever give the Republican response, the youngest woman elected to the Senate, Republican Senator Katie Britt will be giving the Republican response. She's supposed to be just absolutely intelligent, very firecracker. So it's going to be interesting to listen to what she has to say. So it's wonderful he didn't fill the house with illegal immigrants and put money in their cards to vote for him. Well, they didn't want to attend this thing. They didn't want to attend this thing. Please, if you have not liked the show, please like the show. For those of you that are watching, you can watch however you want to watch. Facebook, Twitter. I think we might be on Rumble or whatever. YouTube's the best way to watch. I am using the new mic in a different port, so if we have any kind of sound issues, let me know. What? Who let him back in the building? Where'd he come from? How'd he get in? Last time, Janet, they put his pants on backwards, I believe. That happened. We showed that one time. I can't believe that. Yeah, like how did they got rid of him. How did he get back in? I'm hearing that the Y-Files have counter-programmed us. So you guys sit tight and watch this. I'll be back. Those bastards. That guy needs to be the president of the United States. God.
Man, you got me all excited about the Y-Files. I go and look, and they're not.
What is it?
I was going to escape, man, and go watch the Y-Files, and you can fuck off with yourself.
Are they not on?
No, I didn't see it.
You're looking at the wrong thing. Let me look. They're supposed to be on. No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, there's an episode and a live even.
Oh, well, I must have been in the wrong one. There's the Chief Justices. Just put a stay on Texas immigration law.
Yeah. God, his head is so crazy. That is... I've not been able to look at him ever since someone said it was Butthead. It was Butthead grown up. I've not been able to look at him since.
Oh, dear Lord. Is there anyone in there who doesn't look sleazy or greasy?
No. Every single one of them. It's gross.
Just, ugh. So we all stand around and pretend we're friends and smile for the cameras because they're on. And
right.
I'm interested to see how many times he gets booed.
Yeah, right. Look, there's a little trap door that you can get through.
Yeah. And if the oh God, the Speaker of the House rips up his speech.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Those are the two things I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Bernie, don't audit my wife's standards. Lord, Bernie's still alive. No.
Yeah.
800 years old, he'll still be there. It'll be fine.
Yeah, man. Oh God.
Ugh.
Is Mom, are you watching? Are you watching?
Was that Mr. Guam is going to flip over with Maxine there?
Yeah. I was going to ask Mom if she thinks that Maxine Waters looks like her mother.
Oh dear. I mean, the combined intellect in that conversation must just be overwhelming.
Yeah, right.
She always looks so happy.
Yeah, right. What's God?
All right. Well, I'm going to leave you to it.
All right. Look at what is he? He's watching Pornhub. Was that Miss Sylvie? God. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They're starting to pour in this door here. Let's see what's going to happen. I'm telling you, Mike Johnson, the speaker, is a weird dude. I just still don't. You know Nader's Pornhubbing after losing. yes, Joey. It's me, Joe. This year it got all the way down to the elected sheriff of Henry County. Someone should have said showtime.
Mr. Speaker, the President's Cabinet.
We did have someone post a drinking game rule. Anytime the president clenches his fists or starts speaking angrily, drink. I will try to keep track and post in the comments when we're all supposed to chug.
Okay, yeah, so right.
Hopefully y'all got a good big bottle because he's not in very good control of his emotions.
Yes, right.
Oh, another rule, mumbling or word jumbles.
Yeah, okay, mumbling or word jumbles are good. No, I don't think it's him passing out. I don't think he likes to share. Yes. What? Is what? Is pretty? Where's it at? I can't see it. Okay. Yeah, right. Oh, there's Greg. There's Mike Pence's brother. Oh, yeah. You know it, Brando. How did you luck out of this? You're more than welcome to jump on here too, Brando, if you want. What happened here? Oh, something happened. Someone call the designated survivor. Oh. That guy is 4 foot tall, man. Seriously. Doing homework while listening. That's what they all say. Come on already, get seated. Crying, and Joe hasn't even started to talk yet. Hey now. They could give us the Bobert cam all night. I'd be fine with that. Has she had some work done? Not Bobert, but Jill. We'll all be trashed in the first 10 minutes of a speech. Hey. Yes, Joey. I could have read through who the guests were going to be. They put I Uh-oh. Here we go.
Joe. Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Gavel banging. Yeah, he's like, just think about all that hair, I get a sniff. No, these people are all way too old for that. Mike. Yeah, Joe. Oh, I was hoping that. That guy was still talking to him. He just was completely turning away. He is way too overstimulated right now. He's like, I don't even know where I am. Do you know? Help me get out of here. Night of the Living Dead. Man, that is way too many people. Like, oh God, that. That would not. Oh God.
Good to see you, Mr. President. This is about you. This is about the soul of the nation.
This is about you and the soul of the nation. What's Marjorie Taylor Greene gonna say to him here? Oh God, that guy's trying to take a selfie. He's kissing so many people. God. She told him to say his name. Say your name, Mr. President. Yeah, sniffing too. Oh my God. Here we go. Oh my God, she can't even get her phone to work. Take it. You know, you can't be fidgeting with your phone in that time. Yeah, you've either got to have it ready or don't do that. I got to get a good selfie here. Let's get one with everybody. Let's take a panorama. There's people in there they don't even know. Oh my God. You cannot take two. Come on. I hate selfish people, man. Michael. Oh, did he already do fists? Was that 2 fists? That's 2 shots. If you're drinking, take 2 drinks. As far as I'm concerned, that's two fists. I just saw them on TV. Gotta do it. Holy crap, they're letting him take the photo now. He's taking photo of people there. Oh my God, that was right on the lips. Holy crap. Are you talking to me? All 30 people are chanting 4 more years. Tears for fears. Tears for fears. Sorry, I'm in the wrong line. He told that guy, he's like, hey, look back there. And the guy looked, he's like, made you look. Holy crap. Who did he bring that lady along with him? He drug her down from like 3 aisles back. Oh, yes. Yes. Say her name. Lincoln Riley. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. I don't know, but I can give you Ryan Webb's number if you want it. Catherine? Holy crap.
Tony.
I'm all ears. Tell me what the confusion of the law is. These idiots are just clapping. I think he was trying to look to the light, not salute.
Good evening.
Where's my ice cream?
Good evening. If I were smart, I'd go home now.
Yes! That's the best thing he said all night.
Mr. Speaker, Madam Vice President, members of Congress, my fellow Americans. In January 1941,
Franklin Roosevelt came to this chamber to speak to the nation, and he said, "I address you at a moment unprecedented in the history of the Union."
You're right,
Hitler was on the
Catherine,
march.
as long as there's not a
War was
local
raging in
ordinance that
Europe.
says differently. But yes,
President
you are
Roosevelt's
right.
purpose was to wake up Congress and alert the American people that this was no ordinary time. Freedom and democracy were under assault in the world. Tonight, I come to this same chamber to address the nation. Now, it's we who face
Yes, you were
an
right.
unprecedented moment in the history of the Union. And yes, my purpose tonight is to wake up the Congress and alert the American people that this is no ordinary moment either. Not since President Lincoln and the Civil War have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today. What makes our moment rare is that freedom and democracy are under attack both at home and overseas at the very same time. Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march, invading Ukraine and sowing chaos throughout Europe and beyond. If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not. Ukraine can stop Putin. Ukraine can stop Putin if we stand with Ukraine and provide the weapons that needs to defend itself. That is all. That is all Ukraine is asking. They're not asking for American soldiers. In fact, there are no American soldiers at war in Ukraine, and I'm determined to keep it that way. But now, assistance to Ukraine is being blocked by those who want to walk away from our world leadership. It wasn't long ago when a Republican president named Ronald Reagan thundered, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Now,
Build it back up.
now my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, "Do whatever the hell you want." That's a quote. A former president actually said that, bowing down to a Russian leader. I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable.
He's getting angry. Here it comes. Get ready to drink, people.
America is a founding member of NATO, the military alliance of democratic nations created after World War II to prevent war and keep the peace. And today, we've made NATO stronger than ever. We welcomed Finland to the alliance last year. And just
Finland.
this morning, Sweden officially joined, and their minister is here tonight.
Hey, now, wait a minute.
Stand up. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And they know how to fight.
They do?
Mr. Prime Minister, welcome to NATO, the strongest military alliance the world has ever seen. I say this to Congress, we have to stand up to Putin. Send me a bipartisan national security bill. History is literally watching. History is watching. If the United States walks away, it will put Ukraine at risk. Europe is at risk. The free world will be at risk, emboldening others to do what they wish to do us harm. My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple. We will not walk away. We will not bow down.
Drink, he's screaming.
Bow down.
Yes, and pointing.
In a literal sense, history is watching. History is watching.
Yeah, he's mad.
Just like history watched 3 years ago on January 6th.
Oh, no.
when insurrectionists stormed this very Capitol and placed a dagger to the throat of American democracy. Many of you are here on that darkest of days. We all saw with our own eyes the insurrectionists were not patriots. They'd come to stop the peaceful transfer of power, to overturn the will of the people.
What?
January 6th lies about the 2020 election and the plots to steal the election posed a gravest threat to U.S. democracy since the Civil War. But they failed. America stood. America stood strong and democracy prevailed. We must be honest. The threat to democracy must be defended. My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th. I will not do that. This is the moment to speak the truth and to bury the lies. Here's the simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win. As I've done ever since being elected to office, I ask all of you without regard to party to join together and defend democracy. Remember your oath of office of defending against all threats, foreign and domestic. Respect free and fair elections, restore trust in our institutions, and make clear political violence has absolutely no place in America, zero place.
Zero place.
Again,
Yeah, right.
It's not hyperbole to suggest history is watching. We're watching.
No, it's
Children and grandchildren will read about this day.
like a misnomer.
History is watching another assault on freedom. Joining us tonight is Latoya Beasley, a social worker from Birmingham, Alabama. 14 months ago, she and her husband welcomed a baby girl thanks to the miracle of IVF. She scheduled treatments to have that second child. The Alabama Supreme Court shut down IVF treatments across the state, unleashed by a Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. She was told her dream would have to wait. What her family had got through should never have happened. Unless Congress acts, it could happen again. So tonight, let's stand up for families like hers. To my friends across the aisle, don't keep this waiting any longer.
Drink.
Guarantee the right to AVF. Guarantee it nationwide.
Drink, drink, drink.
Like most Americans, I believe Roe v. Wade got it
Oh.
right.
Drink.
I thank Vice President Harris.
He
for
messed
being
up
an
Roe v.
incredible leader
Wade.
defending reproductive freedom. And so much more. Thank you.
By the way, please drink responsibly. This is just hypothetically speaking,
These
drinking.
reasons overturned, and he brags about it.
Yes, if you're listening to this while driving, please refrain.
Joining us tonight is Kate Cox, the
Who?
wife and mother from Dallas. She's become pregnant again and had a fetus of a fatal condition. Her doctor told Kate that her own life and her ability to have children in the future were at risk
Drink.
if she didn't act. Because Texas law banned her ability to act, Kate and her husband had to leave the state to get what she needed. What her family got through should have never happened as well, but it's happening in too many others. There are state laws banning the freedom to choose, criminalizing doctors, forcing survivors of rape and incest to leave their states to get the treatment they need. Many of you in this chamber and my predecessor are promising to pass a national ban on reproductive freedom. My God, what freedom else would you take away? Look, it's a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court majority wrote the following, and with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you're right about that.
What? Was that a drink there? I'd say that's a drink.
Clearly. Clearly. Those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024.
Drink, he's yelling again.
If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again. Folks, America cannot go back. I'm here tonight to show what I believe is the way forward, because I know how far we've come. 4 years ago next week, before I came to office, the country was hit by the worst pandemic and the worst economic crisis in a century. Remember the fear, record losses? Remember the spikes in crime and the murder rate, raging virus that took more than 1 million American lives of loved ones, millions left behind? A mental health crisis of isolation and loneliness.
Caused by the government.
My predecessor failed the most basic presidential duty that he owes to American people, the duty to care. I think that's unforgivable. I came to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history. We have. It doesn't make news in 1,000 cities and towns.
Whoop.
The American people are writing the greatest comeback story never told.
Yep, that's a drink. He stumbled over that word. Reading the greatest never told.
Here and now. America's comeback is building the future of American possibilities, building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down. Investing in all America, in all Americans, to make sure everyone has a fair shot. We leave no one behind. The pandemic no longer controls our lives. The vaccine that saved us from COVID
is now killing us.
Being used to beat cancer, turning setback into comeback. That's what America does. That's what America does.
Well, remember, he promised to cure cancer a while back.
Yes,
so,
he did.
You know,
right?
so the COVID vaccine has done that for him. So we claim credit where we can.
Now our economy is literally the envy of the world. 15 million new jobs in just 3 years, a record, a record. Unemployment at 50-year lows. A record 16 million Americans are starting small businesses, and each one is a literal act of hope.
Kendall.
With historic job growth and small business growth for Black and Hispanics and Asian Americans, 800,000 new manufacturing jobs in America and counting. Where is it written we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? We are, we will. More people have health insurance today. More people have health insurance today than ever before. The racial wealth gap is as small as it's been in 20 years. Wages keep going up, inflation keeps coming down. Inflation has dropped from 9% to 3%, the lowest in the world and tending lower. The landing is and will be soft. And now, instead of importing foreign products and exporting American jobs, we're exporting American products and creating American jobs right here in America, where they belong. And it takes time, but the American people are beginning to feel it. Consumer studies show consumer confidence is soaring. Buy America has been the law of the land since the 1930s. Past administrations, including my predecessor, including some Democrats as well in the past, failed to buy American. Not anymore. On my watch, federal projects that you fund, like helping build
I thought he did.
highways, will be made with American products and built by American workers.
Oh.
Creating good paying American jobs. And thanks to our CHIPS and Science Act, the United States is investing more in research and development than ever before. During the pandemic, a shortage of semiconductors, chips, that drove up the price of everything from cell phones to automobiles. And by the way, we invented those chips right here in America. Well, instead of having to import them, private companies are now investing billions of dollars to build new chip factories here in America, creating tens of thousands of jobs. Many of those jobs paying $100,000 a year and don't require a college degree.
Are you keeping track of the number? Oh.
In fact, my policies have attracted $650 billion in private sector investment.
I think we're at a good half a fifth already.
Creating tens of thousands of jobs here in America.
Yeah, right, Brandon. Sending them to Muncie where they can rent apartments for $900 a month.
Law, 46,000 new projects have been announced all across your communities. And by the way, I noticed some of you strongly voted against it, or they're cheering on that money coming in.
Oh. God, what was going on? He looked like he was a car getting started.
If any of you don't want that money in your district, just let me know. Modernizing our roads and bridges, ports and airports, public transit systems. Removing poisonous lead pipes.
Oh,
so
that's like a double.
Can drink clean water.
That's like a double. A twofer.
Providing affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where you live, urban, suburban, or rural communities, in red states and blue states.
Alva.
Record investments in tribal communities.
Dude, I know, Eric. It's horrible. Farm. It's horrible.
Because I invested in family farms led by my Secretary of Agriculture, who knows more about this than anybody I know. We're better able to stay in the family for those farms and their children and grandchildren won't have to leave home to make a living. It's transformative.
Well,
a great comeback story is Belvedere, Illinois.
Transformative.
Home to an auto plant for nearly 60 years. Before I came to office, the plant was on its way to shutting down. Thousands of workers feared for their livelihoods. Hope was fading. Then I was elected to office, and we raised the Belvedere repeatedly with auto companies, knowing unions would make all the difference. The UAW worked like hell to keep the plant open and get these jobs back, and together we succeeded.
Mike Jones did it all by himself.
Down, auto factories reopening, a new state-of-the-art battery factories being built to power those cars there at the same.
Yeah.
The folks at Belvedere, I say, instead of your town being left behind, your community is moving forward again. Because instead of watching auto jobs in the future go overseas, 4,000
shockproof. Hey, shockproof.
Higher wages are building the future in Belvedere right here in America. Here tonight is UAW President Shawn Fain, a great friend and a great labor leader. Shawn, where are you? Stand up. And Dawn Sim, a third generation worker, UAW worker at Belvedere. Shawn, I was proud to be the first president to stand on the picket line. And today, Dawn has a good job in her hometown, providing stability for her family and pride and dignity as well. Showing once again, Wall Street didn't build America. They're not bad guys. They didn't build it, though. The middle class built the country, and unions built the middle class. I say to the American people, When America gets knocked down, we get back up. We keep going. That's America.
Oh my God, we're gonna start singing
That's you,
tub
the
thumping,
American people.
Chumbawamba.
It's because of you, America's coming back. It's because of you our future is bright. It's because of you that tonight we can proudly say the state of our union is strong and getting stronger.
Yes, Brandon. That's what they're doing. They're singing the song that reminds us of the good times.
Tonight, I want to talk about the future of possibilities that we can build together. A future where the days of trickle-down economics are over and the wealthy and the biggest corporations no longer get all the tax breaks. And by the way, I understand corporations. I come from a state that has more corporations invested than every one of your states
You missed it, Kate.
Combined. And I represented it for 36 years. I'm not anti-corporation, but I grew up in a home where trickle-down economics didn't put much on my dad's kitchen table. That's why I determined to turn things around so middle class does well. When they do well, the poor go way up and the wealthy still do very well.
Rob.
We all do well. And there's more to do to make sure you're feeling the benefits of all we're doing. Americans pay more for prescription drugs than anywhere in the world. It's wrong, and I'm ending it.
Kendall just said, how is Biden 931 years old, but his face is smoother than when he was 60?
With a law that I proposed and signed, not one of you Republican buddies voted for it. We finally beat Big Pharma. Instead of paying $400 a month or thereabouts for insulin with diabetes, and it only costs $10 to make, they only get paid $35 a month now and still make a healthy profit.
This dude's grown up in more places than anyone ever.
But what to do next?
You Republican buddies.
The cost of insulin, $35 a month for every American who needs it. Everyone. For years, people have talked about it, but finally we got it done and gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices on prescription drugs, just like the VA is able to do for veterans. That's not just saving seniors money, it's saving taxpayers money. We cut the federal deficit by $160 billion. Because Medicare...
I don't think my mom and dad, that I want them to be getting the same kind of treatment that veterans get from the VA.
Drugs on the market.
Right.
To treat everything from heart disease to arthritis. It's now time to go further and give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices for 500 different drugs over the next decade. They're making a lot of money, guys. And they'll still be extremely profitable. Will not only save lives, it will save taxpayers another $200 billion. Starting next year, the same law caps total prescription drug costs for seniors on Medicare at $2,000 a year. Even for expensive cancer drugs,
before the fall.
$10,000, $15,000.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to cap prescription drug costs at $2,000 a year for everyone. Folks, I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but if you want to get in Air Force One and fly to Toronto, Berlin, Moscow, and even Moscow, probably. And bring your prescription with you, and I promise you I'll get it for you for 40% the cost you're paying now.
So my insurance premiums can go through the roof because he's capped everything.
Folks,
Thanks.
Yeah, right.
Appreciate that.
Care Act,
Yeah.
the old Obamacare, it's still a very big deal.
Dude.
Over 100 million of you can no longer be denied health insurance because of pre-existing condition.
Well,
my predecessor
Drink.
Many in this chamber want to take this prescription drug away by repealing Affordable Care Act. I'm not going to let that happen. We stopped you
I think
50
the
times
creepy
before, we'll
leaning
stop
in
you
and
again.
whispering shit needs to be a drinkable offense too.
Yeah, right.
I'm not only protecting
Yeah.
it, I'm expanding it. They enacted tax credits of $800 per person per year, reduce healthcare costs for millions of working families. That tax credit expires next year. I want to make that savings permanent. To state the obvious, women are more than half our population, but research on women's health has always been underfunded. That's why we're launching the first ever White House initiative on women's health research, led by Jill, doing an incredible job as First Lady. We'll pass my plan for $12 billion to transfer women's health research and benefit millions of lives all across America. I know the cost of housing is so important to you. If inflation keeps coming down, mortgage rates will come down as well, and the Fed acknowledges that. But I'm not waiting. I want to provide an annual tax credit that will give Americans $400 a month for the next 2 years as mortgage rates come down, to put toward their mortgages when they buy their first home or trade up for a little more space. Just for 2 years. And my administration is also eliminating title insurance on federally backed mortgages. When you refinance your home, you can save $1,000 or more as a consequence. For millions of renters, we're cracking down on big landlords who use antitrust law, who break antitrust laws by price fixing and driving up rents. We've cut red tape so builders can get federally financing, which is already helping build a record 1.7 million new housing units nationwide. Now pass.
We see all kinds of drinks there. Sorry, I was getting some bad news.
Now pass and build and renovate 2 million affordable homes and bring those rents down.
They're just going to print more money, Catherine. Absolutely.
The federal government's getting into the housing business now. That's
Remain
not
the strongest
terrifying.
economy in the world. We need to have the best education system in the world. And I suspect all of you, want to give every child, a good start by providing access to preschool for 3 and 4 years old. You know, I think I pointed out last year, that children coming from broken homes where there's no books, they're not read to, not spoken to very often, start school, kindergarten, or first grade, having heard 1 million fewer words spoken. Well, studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school, go on to earn a 2- and 4-year degree, no matter what their background is. I met a year and a half ago with the leaders of the Business Roundtable. They were mad that they were angry. I think, well, they were discussing why I wanted to spend money on education. I pointed out to them as vice president, I met with over 182 of those folks. Don't hold me to the exact number.
No, don't hold me to the right
I asked
information.
them what they need most, the CEOs. And you've had the same experience on both sides of the aisle. They say a better educated workforce, right? So I looked at them and I say, I come from Delaware. DuPont used to be the 8th largest corporation
During
in the
this
world.
story.
And every new enterprise they bought, they educated the workforce to that enterprise. But none of you do that anymore. Why are you angry with me providing you the opportunity for the best educated workforce in the world?
Oh my
They
God.
all looked at me and said, I think you're right.
Every
I wanna
single
expand
everybody.
high quality tutoring and summer learning to see that every child learns to read by 3rd grade.
Delaware County, absolutely.
I'm also connecting local
Drink the
businesses
creepy
and high
leaning
schools
in. Yep. That's
so
a mid.
students get
Yep.
hands-on experience and a path to good paying job, whether or not they go to college. And I want to make sure that college is more affordable. Let's continue increasing the Pell Grants to working and middle-class families and increase record investments in HBCUs and minority-serving institutions, including
A
Hispanic
little bit longer,
institutions.
guys, where he's almost done.
I was told I couldn't universally just change the way in which we dealt with student loans.
Drink.
I fixed 2 student loan programs that already existed to reduce the burden of student debt for nearly 4 million Americans, including nurses, firefighters, and others in public service. Like Keenan Jones, the public educator from Minnesota, who's here with us tonight. Keenan, where are you?
Is there a firefighting degree you
He's
can get
educating
from
hundreds
school?
of students so they can go to college. Now he's able to help
Okay, I
out
was
with debt forgiveness,
confused.
get his own daughter to college.
I don't think so.
And folks, look, such relief is good for the economy because folks are now able to buy a home, start a business, start a family. While we're at it, I want to give public school teachers a raise. And by the way, the first couple of years, we cut the deficit. Now, let me speak to the question of fundamental fairness for all Americans. I've been delivering real results in fiscally responsible
Bree, that's
ways.
right.
We've already cut the federal deficit. We've already cut the federal deficit over $1 trillion.
Oh, that's a drink. Yeah, I guess that's right. Fire science. I didn't know that was a degree. I knew that you could do stuff. I thought that was more like a trade school. But I guess that's. Yep, that's a drink.
Pay their fair share.
That's a drink and a drink and a drink.
Look, I'm a capitalist. You want to make or can make a million or millions of bucks, that's great. Just pay your fair share in taxes. A fair tax code is how we invest things to make this country great. Healthcare, education, defense, and so much more. But here's the deal.
Oh, we should have done it. Here's the deal.
$2 trillion tax cut overwhelmingly benefit the top 1%, the very wealthy, the biggest corporations, and exploded the federal deficit. They added more to the national debt than any presidential.
Did they
term
just
in
cheer
American
for
history.
exploding the national deficit?
Check the
I
numbers.
think so.
Folks at home, does anybody really think the tax code is fair? Do you really think the wealthy and big corporations need another $2 trillion tax break? I sure don't. I'm going to keep fighting like hell to make it fair. Under my plan, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay additional
National
penny in
debt.
federal taxes. Nobody, not one penny. And they haven't yet.
Drink.
In fact, the child tax credit I passed during the pandemic cut taxes for millions of working families and cut child poverty in half.
He cut a child in half?
That child tax credit. No child should go hungry in this country.
If you look at stats for Randolph County, that's bullshit. Child poverty has not been cut in half. That's a lie.
Remember in 2020, 55 of the biggest companies in America made $40 billion and paid zero in federal income tax. Zero. Not anymore. Thanks to the law I wrote and we signed, big companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. But that's still less than working people pay in federal taxes. It's time to raise corporate minimum tax to at least 21%.
What?
So every
What?
big corporation finally begins to pay their fair share. I also want to end tax breaks for big pharma, big oil, private jets, massive executive pay when it's only supposed to be $1 million that could be deducted.
Oh,
They
drink.
can pay them $20 million if they want, but deduct $1 million. End it now. You know, there are 1,000 billionaires in America.
Ah.
You know what the average federal tax is for those billionaires? No. They're making great sacrifices. 8.2%.
The amount of
That's far
run-on
less than the vast
sentences
majority
this
of
man
Americans pay.
utters is shocking.
No billionaire should pay a lower federal tax rate than a teacher, a sanitation worker, or a nurse. I propose
Whoa.
a minimum tax for billionaires.
He's
of
going to beat him with that
25%,
cane.
Just 25%. You know what that would raise? That would raise $500 billion over the next 10 years. And imagine
Oh,
what that
good.
can do
More
for
money
America.
for you to blow on
Imagine
stupid
the
shit like
future
building
with affordable
houses and
childcare.
Blow?
giving
Millions of
teacher
families
pay
can get
raises.
They need to go to work to
Yeah.
help grow
And
the
blow.
economy. Imagine a future with paid leave, because no one should have to choose between working and taking care of their sick family member. Imagine the future of home care and elder care, and people living with disabilities, so they can stay in their homes and family caregivers can finally get the pay they deserve. Tonight, let's all agree once again to stand up for seniors. Many of my friends on the other side of the aisle want to put Social Security on the chopping block. If anyone here tries to cut Social Security, Medicare, or raise the retirement age, I will stop you.
You're not watching. You should have seen they showed Republicans when he was talking about they want to put it on the chopping block, and they're sitting there going, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, right.
The
Yes,
working
he's
people
yelling
who built
drink.
this country pay more into Social Security than millionaires and billionaires do. It's not fair. We have two ways to go. Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal. Oh no, you guys don't want another $2 trillion tax cut? I kind of thought that's what your plan was. Well, that's good to hear. You're not going to cut another $2 trillion for the super wealthy. That's good to hear. I'll protect and strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their fair share. Look, too many corporations raise prices to pad their profits, charging more and more for less and less. That's why we're cracking down on corporations that engage in price gouging and deceptive pricing, from food to healthcare to housing. In fact, the snack companies think you won't notice if they change the size of the bag and put a hell of a lot fewer, same size bag, put fewer chips in it. No, I'm not joking. It's called shrinkflation. Pass Bobby Casey's bill and stop this. I really mean it.
I really mean it. I swear I do. You mentioned my name.
You probably all saw that commercial on Snickers bars. You get charged the same amount, and you got about, 10% fewer Snickers in it.
Oh.
I'm also getting rid of junk fees, those hidden fees at the end of your bill that are there without your knowledge. My administration announced we're cutting credit card late fees from $32 to $8.
Bread and circuses.
Yeah.
That's what he's giving us. This is the Roman way of controlling the mob.
Yes.
Bread and circuses.
And that's more a hell of a lot like $8 and 30 some dollars. They don't like it. Credit card companies don't like it.
Yeah.
But I'm saving American families $20 billion a year with all the junk fees I'm eliminating. Folks at home, that's why the banks are so mad, is $20 billion in profit. I'm not stopping there. My administration has proposed rules to make cable, travel, utilities, and online ticket sellers tell you the total price up front, so there are no surprises. It matters. It matters. And so does this. In November, my team began serious negotiation with a bipartisan group of senators. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen. Oh, you don't think
Oh my
so?
God, who is that?
Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing. That bipartisan bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration judges to help tackle the backload of 2 million cases, 4,300 more asylum officers, and new policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years now.
This is a fairy tale.
100 more high-tech drug detection machines to significantly increase the ability to screen and stop vehicles smuggling fentanyl into America. That's killing thousands of children. This bill would save lives and bring order to the border.
Order to the border.
Also give me and any new president new emergency authority to temporarily shut down the border when the number of migrants at the border is overwhelming. The Border Patrol Union has endorsed this bill. The Federal Chamber of Commerce is, yeah. You're saying low. Look at the facts. I know you know how to read.
Oh.
I believe that given the opportunity for a majority in the House and Senate would endorse the bill as well, a majority right now. But unfortunately, politics has derailed this bill so far.
Oh. Drink.
I'm told my predecessor called members of Congress in the Senate to demand they block the bill. He feels political win. He viewed it as a political win for me, a political loser for him.
Drink.
It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand. But look, if we change the dynamic at the border,
he's making a kid's death about him again. This guy is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Your kid dying of cancer and their child being murdered are two entirely different
8 years
things.
before they have a hearing.
Wildly different.
And it's worth it taking the chance of the $8,000. But if it's only 6 weeks, the idea is it's highly unlikely that people will pay that money and come all that way, knowing that they'll be able to be kicked out quickly.
Oh my, that'll stop them.
I respectfully suggest my Republican friends owe it to the American people, get this bill done. We need to act now.
Drink. Yeah.
And if my predecessor is watching, instead of paying politics and pressuring members of Congress to block the bill, join me in telling the Congress to pass it. We can do it together. But that's what here's what he will not do. I will not demonize immigrants saying they are poison in the blood of our country. I will not
paying politics
separate families. I will not ban people because of their faith. Unlike my predecessor on my first day in office, I introduced a comprehensive bill to fix the immigration system. Take a look at it. It has all these and more. Secure the border. Provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers. And so much more. But unlike my predecessor, I know who we are as Americans. We're the only nation in the world with a heart and soul that draws from old and new. home to Native Americans whose ancestors have been here for thousands of years, home to people of every place, from every place on earth. They came freely. Some came in chains. Some came when famine struck, like my ancestral family in Ireland. Some to flee persecution, to chase dreams that are impossible anywhere but here in America. That's America. And we all come from somewhere. But we're all Americans.
Stumblefoot.
Look, folks, we have a simple choice. We can fight
Right,
fixing the
Ella.
border, or we can fix it. I'm ready to fix it.
Leaning, another drink.
Send me the border
Yes.
bill now. A transformational moment in history happened 59 years ago today in Selma, Alabama. Hundreds of foot soldiers for justice marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, named after the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, to claim their fundamental right to vote. They were beaten, they were bloody, and left for dead. Our late friend and former colleague, John Lewis, was on that march. We miss him.
Stay at Bree. Absolutely.
But joining us tonight, our other marchers, both in the gallery and on the floor, including Betty Mae Fikes, known as the voice of Selma, the daughter of gospel singers and preachers. She sang songs of prayer and protest on that bloody Sunday to help shake the nation's conscience. 5 months later, the Voting Rights Act passed and was signed into law. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But 59 years later, there are forces taking us back in time. Voter suppression, election subversion, unlimited dark money, extreme gerrymandering. John Lewis is a great friend to many of us here, but if you truly want to honor him and all the heroes who marched with him, then it's time to do more than talk. Pass the Freedom to Vote Act, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. And stop denying another core value of America, our diversity across American life. Banning books, it's wrong. Instead of erasing history, let's make history. I want to protect fundamental rights. Pass the Equality Act. And my message to transgender Americans is, I have your back. Pass the PRO Act for workers' rights. Raise the federal minimum wage, because every worker has a right to a decent living more than $7 an hour. We're also making history by confronting the climate crisis, not denying it. I don't think any of you think there's no longer a climate crisis. At least I hope you don't. I'm taking the most significant action ever on climate in the history of the world. I'm cutting our carbon emissions in half by 2030, creating tens of thousands of clean energy jobs, like the IBEW work is building and installing 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations.
Drunk.
With a grid that can't handle it.
Yeah, right.
And taking action on environmental justice fence line communities smothered by the legacy of pollution. And pattern after the Peace Corps and AmeriCorps, I launched the Climate Corps to put 20,000 young people to work in the forefront of our clean energy future. I'll triple that number in a decade. To state the obvious, all Americans deserve the freedom to be safe. And America is safer today than when I took office. Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history. It was then, through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add.
What were they
We made
saying?
the largest investment in public safety ever. Last year, the murder rate saw the sharpest decrease in history. Violent crime fell to one of its lowest levels in more than 50 years. But we have more to do. We have to help cities invest in more community police officers, more mental health workers, more community violence intervention. Give communities the tool to crack down on gun crime, retail crime, and carjacking.
I'm going to try to find out what that guy was yelling. See if,
by taking executive action on police reform and calling for it to be the law of the land. Directing my cabinet to review the federal classification of marijuana and expunging thousands of convictions for the mere possession, because no one should be jailed for simply using or have it on their record. Take on crimes of domestic violence.
Drink.
I'm ramping up the federal enforcement of the Violence Against Women Act that I proudly wrote when
I
was
don't know what
senator.
he was saying there.
So we can
Bree.
finally end the scourge against women in America. There are other kinds of violence I want to stop. With us tonight is Jasmine, whose 9-year-old sister Jackie was murdered with 21 classmates and teachers in elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Very soon after that happened, Jill and I went to Uvalde for a couple of days. We spent hours and hours with each of the families. We heard their message. So
Yeah,
everyone
right.
in this room, in this chamber, could hear the same message. The constant refrain, and I was there for hours meeting with every family. They said, do something. Do something. Well, I did do something by establishing the first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention in the White House, that the Vice President is leading the charge. Thank you for doing it.
And she's behind me.
Meanwhile, my predecessor told the NRA he's proud he did nothing on guns when he was president. Oof. After another shooting in Iowa recently, he said, when asked what to do about it, he said, just get over it. There's his quote, just get over it. I say, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. I'm proud we beat the NRA when I signed the most significant gun safety law in nearly 30 years because of this Congress. We now must beat the NRA again. I'm demanding a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity
It's coming.
magazines.
It's got to be coming. He's about 10 minutes longer than he went last
Pass
year.
universal background checks. None of this.
This guy's getting ready to call in the gas leak.
12 years. None of this violates the Second Amendment or vilifies responsible gun owners. You know, as we manage challenges at home, we're also managing crises abroad, including in the Middle East. I know the last 5 months have been gut-wrenching for so many people, for the Israeli people, for the Palestinian people.
Drink mumbling.
And so many here in America. This crisis began on October 7th with a massacre by a terrorist group called Hamas, as you all know. 1,200 innocent people, women and girls, men and boys, slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. And 250 hostages taken. Here in this chamber tonight are families whose loved ones are still being held by Hamas. I pledge to all the families that we will not rest until we bring every one of your loved ones home. We also work around the clock to bring home Evan and Paul, Americans being unjustly detained by the Russians and others around the world. Israel has the right to go after Hamas. Hamas ended this conflict by releasing hostages, laying down arms, could end it by releasing the hostages, laying down arms, and surrendering those responsible for.
That's a drink.
But Israel has Israel has
that's a drink.
Added
a double drink.
Because Hamas hides and operates among the civilian population like cowards, under hospitals, daycare centers, and all the like. Israel also has a fundamental responsibility, though, to protect innocent civilians in Gaza.
I'm working on finding that out.
This war,
Darla,
has taken a greater toll on innocent civilians than all previous wars in Gaza combined. More than 30,000 Palestinians have been killed, most of whom are not Hamas. Thousands and thousands of innocents, women and children, girls and boys.
Somebody came on and said that on Twitter they were saying he was yelling something like U.S. Marine Corps or something like that.
Homes destroyed, neighborhoods in rubble, cities in ruin, families without food, water, medicine. It's heartbreaking. I've been working nonstop to establish an immediate ceasefire that would last for 6 weeks to get all the prisoners released, all the hostages released, to get the hostages home and ease the intolerable and humanitarian crisis and build toward an enduring, something more enduring. The United States is leading international effort for humanitarian assistance to Gaza. Tonight, I'm directing the U.S. military to lead an emergency mission to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the coast of Gaza that can receive large shipments.
Christopher, read the comment.
Water, medicine, and temporary shelters. No U.S. boots will be on the ground. A temporary pier will enable a massive increase in the amount of.
He was yelling about Marines killed in Afghanistan during the pullout. That makes sense.
Israel must do its part. Israel must allow more aid into Gaza to ensure humanitarian workers aren't caught in the crossfire. They're announcing they're going to have a crossing in northern Gaza. For the leadership of Israel, I say this: humanitarian assistance cannot be a secondary consideration or a bargaining chip. Protecting and saving innocent lives.
That's right, Bree.
As we look to the future, the only real solution to the situation is a two-state solution over time. And I say this as a lifelong supporter of Israel. My entire career, no one has a stronger record with Israel than I do. I challenge any of you here. I'm the only American president of Israel in wartime.
Oh, drink.
But there is no other path that guarantees Israel's security and democracy. There is no other path that guarantees Palestinians can live in peace with peace and dignity.
Drink.
There's no other path that guarantees peace between Israel and all of its neighbors, including Saudi Arabia, with whom I'm talking. Creating stability in the Middle East also means containing the threat posed by Iran. That's why I built a coalition of more than a dozen countries to defend international shipping and freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. I've ordered strikes to greater capability to defend U.S. forces in the region. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not hesitate to direct further measures to protect our people and our military personnel.
I hate that he just can't ever get his throat cleared.
For years, I've heard many of my Republican and Democratic friends say that China is on the rise and America's falling behind. They've got it backwards. I've been saying it for over 4 years, even when I wasn't president. America's rising. We have the best economy in the world. And since I've come to office, our GDP is up, our trade deficit with China is down to the lowest point in over a decade. And we're standing up against China's unfair economic practices. We're standing up for peace and stability across the Taiwan Straits. I've revitalized our partnership and alliance in the Pacific.
Look at these guys.
Australia, Japan, South Korea, Pacific Islands. I've made sure that the most advanced American technologies can't be used in China, not allowing to trade them there. Frankly, all this tough talk on China, it never occurred to my predecessor to do any of that. I want competition with China, not conflict. And we're in a stronger position to win the conflict of the 21st century against China than anyone else, for that matter, than any time as well. Here at home, I've signed over 400 bipartisan bills. There's more to pass my unity agenda. Strengthen penalties on fentanyl trafficking. You don't want to do that, huh? Pass bipartisan privacy legislation to protect our children online. Harness the promise of AI to protect us from parents. Ban AI voice impersonations and more. And keep our truly sacred obligation to train and equip those we send into harm's way and care for them and their families when they come home and when they don't. That's why the song Support and Help of Dennis and the VA, I signed the PACT Act. One of the most significant laws ever, helping millions of veterans exposed to toxins who now are battling more than 100 different cancers. Many of them don't come home, but we owe them and their families support. We owe it to ourselves to keep supporting our new health research agency called ARPA-H, and remind us that we can do big things like end cancer as we know it, and we will. Let me close with this.
Close with this. Yeah. Double fist. Drink, drink.
I know you don't want to hear any more, Lindsay, but I got to say a few more things. I know it may not look like it, but I've been around a while.
No way.
When you get to be my age, certain things become clearer than ever. I know the American story. Again and again, I've seen the contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation. Between those who want to pull America back to the past and those who want to move America into the future. My lifetime has taught me to embrace freedom and democracy, a future based on core values that have defined America: honesty, decency, dignity, equality, to respect everyone, to give everyone a fair shot, to give hate no safe harbor. Now, other people my age see it differently. The American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution, that's not me. I was born amid World War II when America stood for the freedom of the world. I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, among working class people who built this country. I watched in horror as two of my heroes, like many of you did, Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy, were assassinated. And their legacies inspired me to pursue a career in service. I left the law firm and became a public defender because my city of Wilmington was the only city in America occupied by the National Guard after Dr. King was assassinated.
Drink, shrink, and drink.
I became a county councilman almost by accident. I got elected to the United States Senate when I had no intention of running at age 29.
Oh my God.
I've been drinking so much I can't even type right.
Black president. Now president to the first women vice president.
I became a county councilor without even trying. I didn't even run. I didn't even file.
Career, I've been told I was too young. By the way, they're going to let me on the Senate elevators for votes sometimes. Not a joke. And I've been told I'm too old. Whether young or old, I've always known what endures. I've known our North Star. The very idea of America is that we're all created equal, deserves to be treated equally throughout our lives. We've never fully lived up to that idea.
Yes,
And
Eric,
we've never
that's
walked
true.
away from it either. And I won't walk away from it now. I'm optimistic. I really am. I'm optimistic, Nancy. My fellow Americans, the issue facing our nation isn't how old we are. It's how old are our ideas. Hate, anger, revenge, retribution are the oldest of ideas. But you can't lead America with ancient ideas. It'll only take us back. You lead America, the land of possibilities. You need a vision for the future and what can and should be done. Tonight you've heard mine. I see a future where defending democracy, you don't diminish it. I see a future where we restore the right to choose and protect our freedoms, not take them away. I see a future where the middle class finally has a fair shot and the wealthy have to pay their fair share in taxes.
Oh, yeah, Eric, it's going to be bad.
Save the planet
Oh,
from the climate crisis and our country from gun violence. Above all,
Good night, my love.
I see a future for all Americans. I see a country for all Americans. And I will always be president for all Americans because I believe in America. I believe in you, the American people. You're the reason we've never been more optimistic about our future than I am now.
He's yelled through this entire thing, so you just need to be shut in your bottle, okay?
We're
Yeah.
the United States of America.
Oh, there's another
Yeah,
really
no.
big yell.
Nothing.
Yeah,
beyond our
drink.
capacity when we act together.
Did he bring that cane because he's going to reenact that whole thing on the step?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, right, Bree?
Hypocrite lie has no understanding of economics or what things are funded at what level. Wow.
Look at this now. Now, while they're walking him out of here, I want to say it'll be interesting to see as they do. It'll be interesting to see the fact check report on this. That'll be interesting. It'll also be interesting to see what if Frank Lutz does his thing that he does when he has the Republicans and the Democrats push the buttons and how they feel about various aspects. I always like looking at that to see what the different focus groups say during the speech. That'll be interesting to to see once that happens. The Republican response should be happening here in just a second. And I think they said that she's only going to be 20 minutes or less. So it'll be a very quick thing. And I think that hers will be wrapped up pretty quickly. She should be pretty fired up. I mean, everything she should say she should slaughter this guy.
I will say that although all of us are completely sloshed by this point from the trips and the yelling and the creepy leaning, I will say that I am impressed that he made it through the whole thing without falling down or apparently shitting his pants.
Yeah. So
now I can't speak to the second for sure.
Yeah, right.
There weren't any weird faces going on up on the podium that would indicate that kind of accidental thing.
Nothing too crazy. And everyone's still very close to him. So I think that's probably not the case.
I am sad though that they did not show Nadler during the speech. I was interested to see if he made it all the way through awake. But I suppose with the weird intermittent yelling going on, that it will probably jar him awake for brief periods.
That's hilarious. I will say, and I know that there's a lot. We have a lot to not like about this. I will say that just completely looking at it without saying, okay, was he lying or telling the truth? He did seem, this was one of his better speeches. I mean, he seemed to be more cohesive tonight than a lot of other times. Okay, I mean,
Darla's got jokes.
Is it? Yeah, right. Is he going to debate Trump this go around? Yeah, no, he is not going to debate Trump. Don't tell me what I told you, Joe. When Biden passes away, he will still be a better president than the orange idiot. I love it.
To be fair, again, this election is going to be, who do you believe is the lesser of two evils?
Oh, there Nadler is? Yeah, it will.
Oh, and he's upright?
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, that dude seriously is 3 foot tall. Look at him. He's still behind that guy there. Wow.
You inspired us all.
Yeah, right.
Half the shit he's talking about cannot be done at a federal level. Those are rights reserved to the states and things that are funded at a state level.
Right.
And he's going to cut taxes for everyone while increasing spending at an exponential rate, which is really fascinating.
Yeah, right.
See, I forget Bree is so young, and then she throws in the emojis and the text language that I don't understand.
Yes.
I'll have to look that one up because I can't remember what it means.
I don't. To me, I always see it, and it is. I don't know what LBVS. LB. I always think it makes me think of. I don't know. Made sure to dose him real good before. LBVS.
Bree, you gotta translate for all us Gen Xers.
Yeah,
here.
what is LBVS? What is happening there? What is LBVS?
And they froze again.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to make sure she's not on another Republican response 2024 date of the
laughing but very serious.
Laughing but very serious. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I can see that. Laughing but very serious. That's funny. Okay.
I'm glad she translates.
Yeah, right. Laughing but very serious. Thank you.
Oh, and I love the whole he's passed this and he's passed that. He's done this.
Yeah, man. It's like, what?
I'm glad we got Eric here because Eric likes to point out when he's like completely full of crap.
I'm not that young.
I don't think you're as old as my oldest son, Bree.
Oh yeah, no. Why I love having her on, and I what we need to do is I am so happy that she's involved. I wish that we would have more people involved. Bree does a fantastic job. I love how into all of this she is, and we need more and more and more. I've actually Well, I'm probably not gonna. We're working on something, hopefully, that will get us out to maybe even broader and younger audiences here coming up soon. Folks, stand by. We're getting ready to hear from the Republican Senator Katie Britt from Alabama. Katie Britt is doing the Republican response to this.
I have 2 children older than you, Bree. Thank you for making me feel ancient.
Let's see here. Daily Wire. Here's the thing. That's the thing that kills me is this whole thought that people who are making more money aren't paying taxes, dude. Like, it kills me to hear that. He's in the theater. We're in the wrong area. We're in the wrong area. Hey, I love it, Bree. Getting more young folks here. That's what matters. Yes. But just I hate hearing taxes for everybody's not good. Taxes. I mean, look, I'm not an insane person. I understand that we need to fund the government, but we should all be looking to find a way to cut taxes for ourselves, for each other, for the whole lot of us. And if the government was doing less intrusive bullshit and more of what they should be doing, we wouldn't need as much. If we weren't funneling millions and millions upon billions to other people's wars.
Christopher, you're asking them to budget.
Oh, I know. Isn't that a strange situation?
Blasphemy.
Yeah, right. Katie Britt. Come on, Katie. Where are you at, Katie? It looks like she's getting ready. They have now put a couple of screens over. That live feed has yet to have started yet, but they are working on that. I'm off screen right now, so we're still watching the president take selfies with people. Meanwhile, one of the screens looks like this. And The other screen looks like this. Military industrial complex for sure. For days. I think that I had oh, while we're waiting, I do have one announcement to talk about from yesterday, a throwback from yesterday. Let's see here. At-large counselor 2, at-large counselor 2, which is Rose Selvey. She sent back an email, said, I'm at IT as we speak. Email fixed just now. I am good to go. Thank you for your patience. So that is Rose Selvey responding in, and now we have a response from Ro. We are still waiting to hear from Jeff Green, Brandon Garrett, Jerry Dishman, and Dale Basham. I will keep you guys posted on what happens with that. We're still waiting on all of the other records as well. Okay, come on. Where's she at?
Could you take this fool down? I would rather look at you than him.
Yes, hold on a second. I'm off screen.
Oh, I can take it down if that's okay.
Yeah, I can do this then. There we go.
Oh, here we go. Sorry.
There you go. Someone said he brought the Irish fire tonight. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. We're just waiting, folks. We've got a little bit longer here to see. Oh, let me see here. Nope. Here what they're saying. It. Oh my God. They're literally telling him that this was some gentleman just said, I've been to 8 of these. And this was the best speech, best State of the Union by far I've been to. Good Lord. Oh my God. I got to turn it down. I can't hear it anymore. There, people are telling him that he kicked ass. Someone gave him, which is, I mean, that's kind of cool. Look, someone gave him a page out of a coloring book from their daughter, which, like, I don't know why you'd want to do this, but he's like, yeah, hey, give me your information. I'd like to call, or I'd like to invite you guys to the White House. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll bring my young daughter to you. I think I'll pass on that. Like, what in the hell? What in the hell? Absolutely crazy. Let me see here while we're waiting in the interim. Let me see if there's anything else I have for you. Oh, I do think that I have some information for you. Stand by. Let me see if I can find this up here real quick. Everyone, so you know, the end of the Indiana General Assembly session this year, the 123rd General Assembly for the state of Indiana will leave this session a week from today. Thursday, the 14th of March will be their last day. So I want to make sure that folks are aware. And I want to let you know, House Bill, Senate Bill 7 is dead. Use of fabricated media in elections, that is dead. Senate Bill 7 is dead. Let me look here really briefly and see where 1133 is at. 1133. It seems like it is. Yeah.
Did they pass it?
Third reading passed. Roll call 207. 48 yay, 0 nays. In the Senate, House concurred in Senate amendment. Roll call. 95 yay, 0 nays. Signed by the speaker today. So that's on to the governor.
Okay, so we have until July to make all kinds of shit.
No. It will go into effect. It's an emergency bill, recall.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
It will
it's
be
an
in
emergency.
effect it'll be in effect in essentially 2 weeks. So we need to flesh out our disclaimer.
Yeah.
I am so irate about that. Okay. Still waiting. They're still waiting on the girl. I'm going to let you know where we are on the other one. So that one's, man, that pisses me off. What?
That one's done.
Yeah,
They've
that one's
protected
done.
themselves for campaign season.
Okay. And, all right. So, okay, here we go. Third reading from the Senate, 40 yays, 8 nays.
Really?
Yeah. 40 yays, 8 nays. So it passed
shocked.
third reading of the House. Return to the House with amendments. Representative Campbell removed as co-author. Representative Miller D added as co-author. Motion to concur filed. House concurred in Senate amendments. Roll call. and it passed 58 yays and 36 nays.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's an impressive number of nays.
It's not impressive enough.
No, not impressive enough.
But yeah.
So they've done their duty this time. They have handcuffed the citizens of Indiana and protected their own asses.
Yeah.
That's good.
So let me tell you who voted.
Joe.
What?
If I die fighting the government over memes, I want y'all to know it was worth it.
Yeah, right. Sweet voted against it. Cash voted against it. Roway voted for it. Criswell voted for it.
All right, so 1133 is a media bill. So it prevents you from making anything that's using AI technology to make
or memes
or meme that uses a representative or senator's likeness of their image or their voice in a way that they did not personally approve. And if you make something, you have to have a disclaimer on it saying it was made by AI and all this other stuff. And they pass it as an emergency to make sure that it's in place for election season.
So like making Sproles with a fake head, making JD with vampire fangs, making Janae Blessel look like Gollum, things like that.
But this is okay.
What is?
Well, it's obviously not JD, but it's the JD cat.
Oh, yeah, the JD cat is okay.
That would be okay.
Yeah.
This would not be okay.
I can't. I'm off screen. I can't see what you're looking at.
The she who shall not be named.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be. It would need a disclaimer.
You need a disclaimer on it. All that kind of stuff. So that is 1133. 1338 is where local governments can pass laws of decorum and tightens the belt on the public access counselor. So they are silencing us in meetings and removing recourse that we have through the public access counselor.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, Photoshop isn't AI, it's art. However, it's using their image, and I can see some of these idiots come after you for it.
Oh, absolutely. And 4 days, we're just quickly passing some information by as we're waiting for the woman to step up here. Oh, we're here. We're here.
Oh, good. I'm going.
They're facing around kitchen tables just like this one. This is where our family has tough conversations. It's where we make hard decisions. It's where we share the good, the bad, and the ugly of our days. It's where we laugh together, and it's where we hold each other's hands and pray for God's guidance. And many nights, to be honest, it's where Wesley and I worry. I know we're not alone. And so tonight, the American family needs to have a tough conversation, because the truth is, we're all worried about the future of our nation. The country we know and love seems to be slipping away, and it feels like the next generation will have fewer opportunities and less freedoms than we did. I worry my own children may not even get a shot at living their American dreams. My American dream allowed me, the daughter of two small business owners from rural Enterprise, Alabama, to be elected to the United States Senate at the age of 40. Growing up, sweeping the floor at my dad's hardware store and cleaning the bathroom at my mom's dance studio, I never could have imagined what my story would entail. To think about what the American dream can do across just one generation, in just one lifetime, it's truly breathtaking. But right now, the American dream has turned into a nightmare for so many families. The true, unvarnished state of our union begins and ends with this: our families are hurting. Our country can do better. And you don't have to look any further than the crisis at our southern border to see it. President Biden inherited the most secure border of all time. But minutes after taking office, he suspended all deportations, he halted construction of the border wall, and he announced a plan to give amnesty to millions. We know that President Biden didn't just create this border crisis, he invited it with 94 executive actions in his first 100 days. When I took office, I took a different approach. I traveled to the Del Rio sector of Texas. That's where I spoke to a woman who shared her story with me. She had been sex trafficked by the cartels starting at the age of 12. She told me not just that she was raped every day, but how many times a day she was raped. The cartels put her on a mattress in a shoebox of a room, and they sent men through that door over and over again for hours and hours on end. We wouldn't be okay with this happening in a third world country. This is the United States of America, and it is past time, in my opinion, that we start acting like it. President Biden's border policies are a disgrace. This crisis is despicable. And the truth is, it is almost entirely preventable. From fentanyl poisonings to horrific murders, there are empty chairs tonight at kitchen tables just like this one because of President Biden's senseless border policies. Just think about Lake and Riley. In my neighboring state of Georgia, this beautiful 22-year-old nursing student went out on a jog one morning.
Horrible.
But she never got the opportunity to return home. She was brutally murdered by one of the millions of illegal border crossers President Biden chose to release into our homeland. Y'all, as a mom, I can't quit thinking about this. I mean, this could have been my daughter. This could have been yours. And tonight, President Biden finally said her name. But he refused to take responsibility for his own actions. Mr. President, enough is enough. Innocent Americans are dying, and you only have yourself to blame. Fulfill your oath of office, reverse your policies, end this crisis, and stop the suffering. Sadly, We know that President Biden's failures don't stop there. His reckless spending dug our economy into a hole and sent the cost of living through the roof. We have the worst inflation in 40 years and the highest credit card debt in our nation's history. Let that sink in. Hardworking families are struggling to make ends meet today. And with soaring mortgage rates and sky-high childcare costs, they're also struggling to how to plan for tomorrow. The American people are scraping by, while President Biden proudly proclaims that Bidenomics is
Why
working.
am I allowing her to go on like this?
y'all.
It's a
Bless his
response
heart.
to the other.
We know.
I mean, why am I
better.
allowing her? Stop,
I'll
woman,
never
stop!
forget stopping at a gas station in Chilton County one evening. The gentleman working the counter told me that after retiring, he had to pick up a job in his 70s so that he didn't have to choose between going hungry or going without his medication. He said, I did everything right. I did everything I was told to do. I worked hard. I saved. I was responsible. He's not alone. I hear similar concerns from fellow parents, whether I am walking with my friends or whether I'm at my kids' games. But let's be honest, it's been a minute since Joe Biden pumped gas, ran a carpool, or even pushed a grocery cart. Meanwhile, the rest of us see our dollar and we know it doesn't go as far. We see it every day. And despite what he tells you, our communities are not safer. For years, the left has coddled criminals and defunded the police, all while letting repeat offenders walk free. The result is tragic, but foreseeable. From our small towns to America's most iconic city streets, life is getting more and more dangerous. And unfortunately, President Biden's weakness isn't just hurting families here at home. He is making us a punchline on the world stage. Look, where I'm from, your word is your bond. But for 3 years, the president has demonstrated that America's word doesn't mean what it used to. From abandoning our allies in his disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan to desperately pushing another dangerous deal with Iran.
Yeah,
President
I
Biden
agree.
Has failed. We've become a nation in retreat. And the enemies of freedom, they see an opportunity. Putin's brutal aggression in Europe has put our allies on the brink. Iran's terrorist proxies have slaughtered Israeli, Jews, and American citizens.
Bree,
They've targeted
absolutely.
commercial shipping, and they've attacked our troops nearly 200 times since October, killing 3 US soldiers and 2 Navy SEALs. Meanwhile, the Chinese Communist Party is undercutting America's workers. China is buying up our farmland, spying on our military installations, and spreading propaganda through the likes of TikTok. You see, the CCP knows that if it conquers the minds of our next generation, it conquers America.
Oh, God.
And what does President Biden do? Well, he bans TikTok for government employees, but creates an account for his own campaign. Y'all, you can't make this stuff up. Look, we all recall when presidents faced national security threats with strength and resolve. That seems like ancient history. Right now, our commander-in-chief is not in command. The free world deserves better than a dithering and
Bree, that's
diminished
right.
leader. America.
They need to show the teleprompter so we can say
secure
deep breath
borders,
here,
Yes.
places,
lower voice, all the
Yes.
stage cues for it.
are
Yes.
actually the cornerstones of a great nation. Just ask yourself, are you better off now than you were 3 years ago?
That's what they keep at. No.
There's no doubt we're at a crossroads, and it doesn't have to be this way. We all feel it. But here's the good news. We, the people, are still in the driver's seat.
Yes,
We get
James.
to decide whether our future will grow brighter or whether we'll settle for an America in decline. Well, I know which choice our children deserve, and I know the choice the Republican Party is fighting for. We are the party of hard-working parents and families, and we want to give you and your children the opportunities to thrive. And we want families to grow. It's why we
Oh my
strongly
God.
support continued nationwide access to in vitro fertilization.
Oh my
We
God.
want to help loving moms and dads bring precious life into this world.
How is this in any way a response to the speech other than talking about immigration and how everything is so damned expensive?
To the parents out there,
Yeah.
and in particular to my fellow moms, many of whom I know will be.
I mean, she's having a really good
tossing and
time.
turning at 2
Yeah.
a.m., wondering how you're going to be in 3 places at once and then somehow still get dinner on the table. First of all,
We're going to help you pop out more babies so we can tax them
Yeah.
too.
for you,
Yeah.
and we stand with you. I know. You're
That's
Yeah,
almost
dude.
Biden.
It
I know
is.
You're probably disgusted by most of what you see going on in Washington.
Yes.
I'll be really honest with you. You're not wrong for feeling that way. Look, I get it. The task in front of us isn't an easy one, but I can promise you one thing. It is worth it. So I am asking you, for the sake of your kids and your grandkids, get into the arena. Every generation has been called to do hard things. American greatness rests in the fact that we always answer that call. It's who we are. Never forget, we are steeped in the blood of patriots who overthrew the most powerful empire in the world. We walk in the footsteps of pioneers who tamed the wild. We now carry forward the same flame of freedom as the liberators of an oppressed Europe. We continue to draw courage from those who bent the moral arc of the universe. And when we gaze upon the heavens, never forget that our DNA contains the same ingenuity that put man on the moon. America.
But did we really?
Before. And every single time, we've emerged unbowed and unbroken. Our history has been written with the grit of men and women who got knocked down. But we know their stories.
And they got up again.
Because they did not stay down. We are here.
Nothing gonna.
Because they stood back up.
We're going to keep singing that song from both Joe and her.
Stand up and prove ourselves worthy of protecting the American dream. Together.
Yeah, right. Me too.
The heroic
Eric.
Spirit of a great nation. Because America, we don't just have a rendezvous with destiny. We take destiny's hand and we lead it. Our future
Oh my
starts around
God.
kitchen tables, just like this, with moms and dads just like you. And you are why I believe with every fiber of my being that despite the current state of our union, our best days are still.
How many Xanax has she taken?
May God bless you, and may God continue to bless.
She sounds like a kindergarten
the United
teacher.
States
Yeah.
of America.
Okay, kids, it's going to be a happy day today.
Oh, this is what's wrong with that's that is a ridiculous horse shit message. I cannot comprehend what the Republican Party is thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Republican Party. This is the reason why we are having our ass stomped in the federal elections. This is the people that are leading us at the local level. This is Jessica Piper. This is Susan Hoon. This is Missy Williams kind of bullshit. This is the toxic positivity that trips over itself to avoid talking about any of the real problems going on. Meanwhile, we are getting just absolutely pummeled by the real bullshit, and we can't even take care of ourselves because we've got this nonsense leading us, folks. This is what I say when I tell you no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save you. Nothing, politically speaking. If we want to do it, if we want to save ourselves, if we want saved, we're going to have to save ourselves. Because these people, these doe-eyed, big teeth, smiling, sitting around after they've popped about 6 Xanax, telling themselves how wonderful everything's going to be and what a brighter future we're going to have when we just work together and sing Kumbaya. That's crap. That does not defeat or give anybody an answer or give anybody even an inkling of an idea of how to push back against what we just heard from Joe Biden. And the problem we're faced with is, hell, she's not even the candidate that's running against him. So people who are saying, is that a campaign speech? I don't know who or for what. She's not running against Biden. She's not offering herself up as another option. I wouldn't want her to be the option if she was offering herself up. We're still trapped between the choices of Donald Trump or Joe Biden. How have we progressed 4 years into the future, but yet we're still back here? I read an article today that said that if the United States election happened today, that more people would vote for Trump than Biden. The problem is the election is not today. And that's going to give the people that are in the positions of quote unquote power, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. That's 8 more months to figure out how they can ensure that Trump is not going to win the election. We're in trouble, folks. Wasn't RFK giving a response? Seems like I read that somewhere. I think he was saying, I don't like this. I don't. It's not a good thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. He's whacked out. He's not. We're in trouble. We are in trouble. I cannot believe that is the Republican response. I cannot believe that is the response to what we just heard. Let me see what others are saying about it here. Okay. I don't even see anybody talking about hers. I'm going to see what Tim Pool's saying here. See what Tucker's saying. I just think everybody's saying to hell with it. We're screwed. What's Tucker saying?
Her Facebook page,
Yeah.
she puts up, President Biden needs a reality check. In just a few minutes, I'll deliver the Republican response to the State of the Union. Where in that was there a reality check?
Yeah, that was not a reality check at all. Tucker says this was probably the darkest, most un-American speech ever given by an American president. In fact, it wasn't a speech, it was a rant, entirely lacking in decency and generosity to his fellow Americans. Joe Biden can't win in fair election. Joe Biden will lose in November. They're going to steal the election, and we will know they're going to steal the election because they now are saying it out loud. Well, listen, I'm just saying, I'm going to say I don't know that we're in a position to win the election. I don't know that we are in a position to win the election. RFK. Let's see. See old Bobby has to say here. Bobby Jr. He's got a 9-minute speech. Let's see if we can struggle through this, and then we'll shut her down for the night. All right, folks, here we go. We're gonna try to stumble through here. Give me 1 second here.
United States. I grew up in an America that seemed to have achieved its promise as an exemplary nation. Modern democracy is. I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and I'm running as an independent candidate for President of the United States. I grew up in an America that seemed to have achieved its promise as an exemplary nation. Modern democracy has spread from one nation, ours, in 1776 to 6 by 1865 and to 190 by the 1960s. We had become the city on the hill. We were a moral authority around the globe. Our government, institutions, our Congress, the court, the regulatory agencies, and even the American press were renowned for their integrity, and they were revered worldwide. Other nations wanted our American leadership. They knew the difference between leadership and bullying, which is something our current leaders seem to have forgotten. We were the template of liberty, proof that for a country to thrive, its people must be free. Free to speak, free to worship, free to build great companies, free to start small businesses. We were the freest country in the world, and by no coincidence, also the most prosperous. Working Americans could provide for their families on a single salary. They could buy a home, raise a family, save for retirement without mountains of debt. We made the best music. We made the best movies. We made gold standard automobiles that everybody in the world wanted. We made blue jeans. We reconstructed Europe. We put men on the moon. We have the world's healthiest, best educated children. Our productivity, ingenuity, our can-do spirit were the envy of the world. We had confidence in our strength, our capacity, and the limitless potential of our country. Yeah, we had serious racial and environmental problems, but in the heady days of my youth, the environmental movement and the civil rights movement were picking up steam. My father and some of his allies were fighting to eliminate the last pockets of hunger in Appalachia and the Mississippi Delta and on the Indian reservations. And we became, for the first time, a true constitutional democracy in this country, with all races voting and holding political office. Other countries aspired to be like us, and our children grew up proud of their passport, proud of their flag. My uncle, President Kennedy, left us a legacy of peace and the hope of ending the arms race and winding down the Cold War. Those were the traditions of freedom, prosperity, and peace that my father, my uncle, and Martin Luther King Jr. were striving to protect and advance. In the half century since their deaths, we've lost touch with that vision for our country. And I want to tell you right now that we can still restore that America, the America that almost was, and yet may be. But we have to start by being honest with ourselves. Neither my uncle nor my father would recognize the version of America that we have today. We become a nation of chronic illness, of violence, of loneliness, depression, and division, and poverty. Our great cities are becoming tent encampments, modern-day Hoovervilles filled with undocumented immigrants and dispossessed Americans and people living in their cars, plagued by mental illness and addiction and despair. Our border has come under the control of criminal drug cartels that traffic in desolation and fentanyl, and in busloads of desperate human beings. Our children are drowning in a crisis of alienation, of dispossession, and complete disconnection from their communities. We've lost far more of our young people to drugs in the last decade than in the 20-year Vietnam War. We've printed 9 centuries worth of money in a little over a decade and spent $8 trillion on regime change wars. Those wars have made America less safe, our country less strong, and the world far less stable, while sending prices through the roof as our infrastructure falls apart. Tens of millions of young Americans no longer even dream of owning their own home. What happened to America, the land of opportunity, where you could be sure that if you worked hard and played by the rules, that you would have a decent life? All the new wealth of the last generation has gone to the billionaires and to transnational corporations, while our tattered middle class, our infrastructure, our industry have been hollowed out from the inside. Instead of promise, we've left our kids sick and drowning in debt. The public debt has gone from about $5 trillion under President George W. Bush to $34 trillion today, and U.S. household debt is at a record high of $17.3 trillion. If you include discouraged workers, our true unemployment rate is 23%. Young parents face housing, grocery, and childcare costs that are unaffordable. Too many Americans are living bleak and hopeless lives, dreading the one medical emergency or the car repair that will tip them over the edge into homelessness. We rank 40th globally in our people's health and wellness. Out of the richest countries in the world, the United States is 35th in child poverty rates, just above Mexico. We rank 36th in literacy and 45th in press freedom. We have one of the highest cancer rates in the world. And our life expectancy now ranks 59th, according to the World Bank. That's right behind Algeria, which spends less than 1/30th per capita of what we spend. But even these grim figures hide the full picture of our dire health crisis. We now have the worst health outcomes in the rich world, the highest maternal mortality rates, the highest number of gun deaths per capita, and the highest number of teen pregnancies. We lead the world in obesity and
This is the
chronic
longest
disease.
9
According
minutes of my
to
life.
CDC, 60% of Americans have at least one chronic condition. When my uncle was president, only 6% of Americans had chronic disease. And all of these plights fall heaviest on our young people. 4 in 10 of them suffer depression, and half of them have considered suicide. 1 in 10 has anxiety. 1 in 10 has ADHD. 1 in 5 is obese. It's time for us to say enough is enough. We were once a free and thriving nation, the healthiest and strongest in the world. What we once were, we can be again. How do I know that? It's because everywhere I go in this country, I see a profound determination among Americans to heal. We might have become the sickest country on earth, but we also have the most ingenious healers, both inside and outside conventional medicine. We may have sky-high levels of depression and addiction, but we also have innovators who have opened up new frontiers in recovery. We have some of the world's most depleted agricultural soils, but also some of the world's most innovative and energetic regenerative farmers. We have serious economic problems, but we also have the brightest and most ambitious entrepreneurs. We face hunger and homelessness, and yet we meet it with the highest philanthropic rates in the world and bottomless kindness and compassion. We may be on the mat today, but we can be on our feet and happy and healthy and strong again with good leadership tomorrow. Our people and our system were built for resilience. And here's the most important thing I want to tell you about the state of our union. Our nation seems more divided than ever, but Americans everywhere want to heal that divide. Our nation has become artificially divided by political forces that can survive only when we, the people, are at war with each other. People are tired of being manipulated by fear. We learned that lesson during COVID. We recognize that the same techniques of manipulating fear are being used by elites today to corral us into voting for one political candidate or the other. Americans are tired of these dire warnings that to preserve democracy itself, you better vote for our guy. I can tell you that in every state of this union, people are rejecting fear-mongering. 80% of Americans say they don't want to be forced to choose in this election between the lesser of two evils. They're tired of voting against something or someone.
Yeah.
I see it in the crowds of mixed Republicans and Democrats and independents who attend my rallies, that a growing number of Americans are rejecting divisiveness. They're ready to unite, to rebuild this country, and to fulfill the promise of the America of my youth. They're ready to vote for something and for someone they like, for someone who represents hope and healing, or someone with an inspiring vision for America's future, for a future that they can believe in. So that's the State of the Union that I want to bring you today. It's a nation that hungers to heal. It's a nation ready to face reality, to rebuild, to end the forever foreign wars, to clean out the corrupt Washington establishment, and to turn again toward peace, freedom, good health, and prosperity. When we unite in that vision, we're going to be unstoppable. Thank you, and God bless you.
No. So he was saying some interesting things. Again, it was not a rebuttal to Biden's just horrible drivel. It was a campaign speech, a 9-minute long campaign speech. So Biden's
Fair, it was a pretty good 9-minute long campaign speech, I thought.
Bobby Jr. is scary. He's scary to me because he's not
scary to me, but I will say that was a good speech.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't say I was voting for him or he convinced me of anything.
Yeah. It was I'll say it was a goodish speech.
Okay, fine.
A goodish speech. I will say that. Is assisted suicide legal in Washington, D.C., asking for a taxpayer? Oh, no. He paid for his own speech. So the thing is, Biden's address to the nation was for everyone who hates America. Bobby Jr. was for all of the conspiracy theorists. And Katie was for the suburban soccer moms. For all of the rest of us, why are we being left out? For the 18 to 70-year-old white man, black man, Hispanic man, white woman, black woman, Hispanic woman, Native American, the factory worker, the farmer, the CEO. Where is someone for us? The Stepford wife speech. That was not, it wasn't a rebuttal, man. This was a joke. All three of these jokers were in serious trouble. And that's why I'm telling you, folks, we're really going to start looking at the national election after May. But between now and May, we're going to be focusing on our local and state, because I'm just going to say it, we're fucked on the federal.
Well, and I will tell you, having been to the Libertarian convention this weekend, none of the people that are going for Libertarian nomination at national convention for presidency, I was not impressed by any of them. And I think there were 4 of them, 4 or 6 of them. They had recorded speeches, just not impressive at all.
Who do you know who they are?
Oh, I can't remember. I can find out and get it to everybody later.
Yeah. That's
we
fine.
could announce it on a future show before the convention.
That's fine.
There was just utter, So there's not that libertarians really have much of a shot at a national election, to be fair.
We just don't have, we're just in trouble all the way around, man.
We need Vermin Supreme to run. I'm sorry. At least he's
I would take some Vermin Supreme.
Yeah.
I would be down for some Vermin.
And he's actually a very intelligent, well-spoken, thoughtful person. I actually was impressed.
Yeah. No question.
But tonight was crap.
I got to talk to you about this, Jackie. So wait a moment. You liked, and I'm not trying to cut down on you. I'll have to call you tomorrow, Jackie, because so you liked her. I like her message of jumping in the arena. I'm fine with that, because that's what I say. That's what I push. But I just don't think, she could have said that yesterday. She could say that tomorrow. She could come on here and say it anytime she wanted. She could say it, but I just don't think it was a push. That's interesting. And I don't mean to call Jackie out. I love her opinion. Jackie says, Alabama U.S. Senator Katie Britt delivered the Republican response to the State of the Union address. Great speech. I love that she encouraged citizens, families, moms, dads, etc. to jump into the arena, go vote, and get involved in what is happening in the USA. Yes, absolutely. I love that, and that's what we push, and that's a great message. And I had so much high hopes for her, but I just think she really missed the mark on speaking to those of us that were just really taken aback by Joe's speech. What floors me is I'm looking at people saying Joe Biden gave one of the best speeches of his career. And I'm like, what? Yeah, if you're a Bond villain hell-bent on taking America down, She didn't respond to Biden, and RFK didn't respond to Biden. And it'll be interesting to hear what Trump bloviates on about. Trump is, it's getting harder. Listen, I'm telling you, I am just finding it harder and harder to listen to Trump. I got to be perfectly honest. He's making less and less sense, and he's becoming more and more and more I never say this word right, a caricature of himself. I'm not feeling good about this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our Thursday show. Sorry, this was a long one, but you know, when the idiots are talking, it is. We let our idiot talk to their idiot, and that's what we do. Hey, I want to let you guys know I will not be here tomorrow night. That's Friday. But we're going to do a Saturday show. So we will be doing that Saturday. I do want to say before we roll out of here, for those that are from the Muncie, Delaware County area, there is a bowling event this Sunday, March 10th, for my friend Amber Green at Clancy's Village Bowl. Stop by, even if you're not going to bowl, even if you're not going to donate money, stop by and donate money. Even if you don't get a team, even if you don't become a lane sponsor, stop by and give her $2 or $3. Stop by and give her $5. Stop by and give her $10. And if you give her money, tell her that you're giving her money because you heard the advertisement for her on this program.
Yeah, do that because we get a 10% cut.
No, that would be wildly illegal. But definitely tell her that so she'll go, oh. But stop by. It'll be fun. Get yourself in the picture because we're trying to get more bodies in the pictures than James King for all of the candidates that we support. That's this Sunday at Clancy's Village Bowl, 4805 North Wheeling Avenue. If you want information, you can get a hold of me, or you can call the number on the brochure there. It's 765-717-9300. That is 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Sunday, March 10th. And then, of course, next Friday, March 15th, from 7 to 9 p.m. Also, there on Wheeling at the Carolina Room, which is just above Clancy's Village Bowl, is the re-elect Ryan Webb for county council. Folks, we're going to need to push these people. The other side is out working it hard because we've got good candidates up against them and they're afraid. And sometimes when you're afraid, that's a good position to be in because you're out busting your butt. Well, that means we've got to be busting our butt too. We can't just say, well, they're bad candidates, so blah, blah, blah. That's not how it works. They are bad elected officials, but they do happen to win. That's why we need to be busting our butt. The election is going to be won in the primary. If you do not vote and vote right in the primary, we are screwed here, folks. So get out, donate to both of these people, and tell them that you heard about their advertisement on this program here. We will see you Saturday night at 9 p.m. You guys take care of yourselves. God bless each and every one of you. And thank God the 2024 State of the Union is over. Good night. Goodbye. Kill the music. We have a massive Sproles funny. Matter of fact, it's so good, we're not going to premiere it. We're going to talk about it And then we're going to world premiere it right after the live as its own standalone premiere little video. Just a few minutes, but I don't want to kill the views on it watching it here and there. So we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to play it. And then Sunday night, after people have had a chance to listen to it, we're going to talk about it on the show, because people are going. When I tell you, first of all, I got to brag Kate up. So Kate was the brainchild behind this, and it was brilliant. This is going to be one of the best things that we've done. You guys talking last night, me and Kate and going on, and all of a sudden this thing happened. And I'm just telling you, we've got a wonderful team here. And you guys are going to freaking love this thing. So tune in Saturday. We're going to have a great show Saturday. And then right after the live on Saturday, we're going to have an amazing premiere of an amazing, funny Sproles thing. So, all right, folks, take care. God bless. Have a good night. Goodbye again. Good night.